That's for going shopping after.
Hello, YouTube land. Welcome to our second live video brought to you by Einstein's Workshop. We're going to do a little project today. My name's Adam.
My name's Aaron.
Awesome. And so we're going to do a little... First of all, this is our first time going live, so I'm like half watching the screen, half not. Not sure how much to watch the screen, but that's cool. So today we're going to be doing a marble run. It's going to be super cool, using mostly just crafts and stuff that you find around your house. And hopefully you guys have a few things lying around that you guys can use. Paper. Well, real quick, so let me show you mine, my first example. So this is my cool marble run, which you probably can't see perfectly well. Hey! But it works all right. Pretty neat. So, things you're going to need for this project, if you want to make sure you have all the supplies you need. You're going to need some scissors to cut with, a ruler. Ruler's super important. We're going to be using those to make our edges. Tape, definitely going to need tape. Any kind of tape is fine. Clear tape, Scotch tape. Theoretically, you could use duct tape, although it's a little finicky and hard to work with. I suggest sticking to the easier stuff. And a bunch of cardboard and boxes. So I've got here Swiffer Duster box, some Andy, and we got...
Everyone's got Pringles boxes, right?
Giant Pringles box. Bunch of just snack boxes, things like that.
Any boxes you can find.
Any box you can find. I will say, though, that the lighter cardboard works a little better. So snack boxes tend to work pretty well. Like Amazon boxes, we have a few of, but they're a corrugated cardboard, meaning that they have a riffle through the middle to make them a little bit stronger.
They're thick.
That can be hard to fold, hard to work with, and it kind of comes apart. So we brought some, but thinner cardboard, actually better on this one.
So it's heavy enough, but there's none of that thickness to it.
Other things that you can use if you don't have a ton of boxes lying around: postcards.
Yeah.
This is an advertisement from Dell. More advertisements, basic paper, and a magazine. We'll show you how to use a magazine too. Cool. So that's the basic supplies. Now, what are you going to mount this to is another question. So if you're at home, hanging out, trying to think of how you're going to make this, I built mine on a large box. That makes it pretty easy. Mounting to a structure makes things a lot easier. Trying to build structure can make it very difficult. Having something already pre-made makes this part a lot easier. If you have a bookcase nearby, if you have
an empty wall.
No, the only thing is make sure you clear by your parents.
Absolutely. The first thing you need in terms of supplies here is a parent.
Yeah.
When you're using scissors, when you're using
true statement
household.
Make sure you have a parent nearby so that everything you do is safe. We're going to show you all safe tools, but it's good to have their help and advice along the way. So whatever you're taping to, just make sure that you've cleared that ahead of time with your parents, all right? So a wall, you could maybe do a wall, a bookcase, big cardboard box. Aaron found this.
A stool, a chair.
Yep. I also found these, I don't know, what do you call these? Lego?
Duplo.
Duplo?
Lego or Duplo.
I'm just kidding. Lots of Lego. This works great for a structure. You can build it up. I actually built one on Lego first, but my toddler got to it. He was having way too much fun with it, so it is no longer. But that obviously makes a very strong, easy structure to work with right off the bat. Cool. So if you have all your supplies gathered and you're kind of ready to go, and hey Terry, hi guys. You guys, we will get started here and show you how to do some cool tips and tricks with making a cool marble run. Oh, I forgot one more supply. A marble.
The marble, right.
So hopefully you have a marble at home. We have some, marbles are nice because they're pretty heavy for their size, We also do have bouncy balls and other
Yeah.
like Lego balls, things like that. Anything that's small and round, you'll have to design this to be the best setup for you. So however, whatever ball you're using, you can kind of, navigate your own design.
You'll want it to be a fairly solid ball, not one that's light and hollow.
Right.
Something that will keep itself moving down through the run.
Yeah. Not like a ping pong ball. Because, what a great segue. Nicely done there.
You're welcome.
So the main focus of our marble run is to generate energy in the form of movement moving down this thing. So when we start a marble run, can I have a marble, please? We're talking about how we're gonna have marbles in our pockets here.
I do.
When we start a marble run, we take the marble and we're going to raise it up to a certain level, right? And that's going to create something called potential energy. The energy in this marble is in the form of gravity, right? So gravity is going to try and pull this marble back down to the earth. But because I picked it up, it's given it some energy to do that. So then when that potential energy gets converted to kinetic energy with gravity, that's what's going to drive the ball downward through our system.
That's great.
I missed.
Oh no, it still did the
Flippies?
flippies.
I'm going to show you guys how to do flippies too. So that's the whole goal. So we want to try to start towards the top of the model, and then we can kind of work our way down. Okay? All right, so let me show you and the people at home, the first kind of most crucial fold we're going to do through this whole process. All right? We're going to start with a piece of cardboard. Actually, we're going to start with my base. So first, you're going to find your base. I found this awesome juicer box, and actually, I believe.
Is there still a juicer in there?
No, but I think that there's stuff in here. There's no juicer. But
This could be fun to build onto.
yeah. Yeah, so that's the other thing too. If you have anything else, you'll notice on the one that I made, a water bottle,
Yeah.
magazines, paper clips. So if you have anything else you want to try, bring it to the.
I brought some cups over.
Paper cups. Awesome. Hey Tristan, if you're on the chat and you can hear us okay, can you give us a little? Yeah, you can hear us
nod.
fine. Maybe a little message or a thumbs up or something. It's alright, maybe we lost it. Okay. So I have my box to start with. Then I'm going to make my first fold. So I'm going to take a box, and I'm actually going to I'm going to go up to the camera and do
Yeah, go ahead.
this. All right, now to start our first fold, I'm going to take my box, okay? And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right along one line to kind of cut off a rectangular section of the box.
So you just want to keep part of this box?
I'm probably going to end up using all of it, but I'm just showing you the first fold action. Great. So, here's my first rectangle. Now what I'm going to try and do is make like a trough. So the marble can kind of ride down the middle here. Okay? So I want a middle, and I want two sides. Okay? A ruler can be super handy. A ruler can actually be handy when you're making the cut too, but this time I followed the previous line on the box. So we can use a ruler in two ways. The first way we can use a ruler is as a straight edge. We put the ruler down, we line it up so all of our edges are as square as possible. We could take a marker and draw a line. Okay? Then, the marble's going to go down the middle. We want two sides, so I go down the other side. Alright? So now I have two lines for my trough. Now, I could just fold these by hand, but if I do that, chances are I'm going to get kind of a wibbly wobbly line. So the other great way to use a ruler is as a flat, hard edge. Now you're going to say, Adam, what if I don't have a ruler at home? Well,
Adam, what if I don't have a ruler at home?
well, then clearly your parents don't like to measure anything. But if you don't, then a book or...
I got books.
Yeah, books. Anything with like a hard, flat edge will work for this. So I'm going to take my ruler, I'm going to put it down on my edge, wherever I'm going to go, and I'm going to hold it down with my thumbs and pull up on my cardboard.
Ooh.
Oh.
Got a little...
That's not going to work, so you know
I
what?
want to watch for those beats.
Yep. That's okay. You know what? This is plenty thick enough, so I'm just going to cut that piece off following my line. Look at that. Handy dandy.
Great.
And then I'm going to draw another line. And then I'll use, so now I get my two lines again. There we go. Fold up. Beautiful. And I can kind of make sure it's nice and tight. Okay?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. And I have my trough. Do you have a marble?
Yeah, I have a marble.
Just had one a second ago. My first marble run. Cool. Now, there's two ways that I can attach this, and I'll show this to you on the board in a second. One way is I can attach it, where's my view here? I can attach it with this side taped onto the box this way. The other way I can do is I can actually fold one side down,
Ooh.
and I can tape it this way. So this is my outer edge, this is attached to the box. I'll show you both. Sometimes some work better than others. That's up to you. All right, so I'm going to tilt the camera back up here. No, I don't have any on that one.
Okay. But we do have the method 1 trough on here, of course. So,
Awesome.
stuck.
Okay, so like I was saying, now I got to pick my starting place. So I'm just going to start up at this corner here, and I'm going to start moving down. I can tape it either this way up. Benefits of that, it's pretty easy to tape it that way. The other way you can do it is if you fold one edge down, you could do it tape this way. That tends to stay folded a little easier. But it's kind of up to you.
I can also see that this is going to, I mean, it wants to come this way.
Yeah.
The weight's going to hold down this way. So it's going to try to keep that same shape, whereas with the fold going in this direction, it's going to want to flop down. So over time, the marble seems like it'd be more likely to fall out. So I can see the benefit of doing it like this.
Well, let's try it that way. Piece of tape. Another piece of tape. Oh, I beat you to it.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a problem. So we might need to tape the top up.
Tape at this edge, not just along the flat bottom, but also at these edges.
Sweet.
Now, these marble runs, as we saw earlier when you were using your marble run, that they need constant adjustments.
Yes. Yeah.
You use it once, it'll go a few times, and it's going to start to move out.
There are things you can do to fix that over time. So as we go through, we'll figure out ways to actually continue to address that issue. Because yeah, when you first put it together, it's probably going to be a little wobbly. Marble me.
Marble me. Yeah.
Try it. Nice. All right, cool. We have our first one. So, couple ways you can do this real quick. You can. So, why are you making a marble run is the big question.
For fun.
For fun. And also, give yourself a little bit of a goal. So, do I just want to go down in the coolest way possible? Maybe I want to try and get around my box. Or...
Oh, yeah. Like around.
Yeah.
One time, yeah, getting all the way around.
And then another thing we could do is actually give ourselves a goal. So one thing you could do is find some tape, and you could say, I'm going to start my marble here, and I want it to end, and you could take, actually, can I have one of those cups? I want to end it over here.
So it lands. Hey.
So I might have to come off the box a little bit and figure out how that works. But that's another way you could do it. You could, like, you know, start on top of a table, excuse me, and give yourself a run and say, I'm going to end in that cup over there.
Yeah.
So that's another really cool way to do it, so that you have a goal in mind. So this is a live session for us to kind of hang out and build some cool stuff. So we're actually going to take a few minutes here to just build. And we'll come back and answer some questions. I'll keep my eye on the stream, and if you guys have any questions or thoughts or ideas, you can let us know. But in the meantime, why don't we just start building some cool marble?
Sounds great.
All right.
I'll start just making a bunch of troughs.
Okay.
Just be a trough manufacturer, and then we can start sticking them on there.
All right. Actually,
yes.
While he does that, I can show you guys a couple new tricks.
Okay, so I'm just going to get busy.
One thing that I made on mine was some flippers. So down here, there's some cool little, I can't even see it, some flippers that kind of move when it goes, the marble goes down the track, kind of cool. So let me show you how you can do that. All right, so making a flipper. To make a flipper, this is actually just in my example box. You basically just need a small piece of cardboard like this, okay? Now, one of the important things is that it's not too wide for your trough, because if your trough's only this wide, your flipper is not going to work very well. So make sure you trim it down enough that it'll fit inside your trough, okay? And then making a flipper is actually pretty easy. I'm just going to go ahead and fold this right over, okay? And I'm going to tape this end, and this end's going to be my pivot point. So this is where it's going to rotate around my paper clip in a second. So I'm going to grab a piece of tape. Tape goes right over like that. Okay. Now I have a paper clip. I'm going to go ahead and unfold that. Okay. And I like doing it this way, where I unfold it all the way, mostly, and then take it, put it through, and my little flipper. Okay. Now this part, with maybe a parent's help, so make sure you don't stab yourself in this part. This is really important. A pen, possibly? I don't know. Yes, I do. Right here. So you can use a pen to stab through your box. So we're going to pretend that this is my box. You can use a pen to poke a hole through. Okay. Again, try not to hurt yourself. Oh, look at that. Then this part I put through. I actually leave this part hanging, and then on the inside of the box I'm going to fold that paper clip back up just like that. So my little flipper, and then add another piece of tape on the inside. A little bit of adjustment. There we go. Whoa. It was kind of fun. You can add those, and as your marble goes down, it can plinko off of those. Let's see how Aaron's doing over here. Aaron, how are you doing?
Doing all right. I just took that.
You can move that one out of the way.
Took that snack pack box, and I just first of all broke it down into all the different flat pieces, so that I'm ready to take those individually, cut them up into troughs.
Cool. And you can make, I mean, I'm not gonna borrow this. You could make long troughs, and you could make shorter troughs too. It's kind of nice. Hello, Erica. Quick question. So the question is, how long does it take to make your first marble run? It takes a little while. This is a fun project to hopefully use up some time. I think a lot of us have a lot of time right now. And this is a project that you can kind of go away. So the important thing about a marble run, I think, is not to get frustrated, right? It's not necessarily easy all the time, and it takes some trial and error. And by that I mean sometimes things will work, sometimes they won't work, and you just got to kind of keep trying different things. But the results are pretty cool. I will say, again, my toddler played with his mind for a long time. So to answer the question perfectly, I would say probably about 45 minutes to an hour to finish my first one. And then...
That said, you can spend as much time on it as you want to.
Make it epic marble. Make a marble run to rival the big metal one at the Science Museum.
Oh, yeah. You know the one we're talking about, the Science Museum? Yeah. Where they have the pool balls like running all through it? Wow.
I will tell you, I have tried to make one using... So the reason we're showing this to you is because we've tried a few different tricks. And I've tried doing one with just like metal bars, like the one at the museum. That's really hard. That requires precision equipment and a lot of effort. These troughs work a lot faster. So let's show you another cool trick. While he's working on a trough, I'm going to show you another cool one. So I personally, I like to have a little bit of moving action in my ping pong or my design, hence why I like flippers and stuff. So one thing that's kind of cool is for example, oops,
on my trough.
I'm mushing your trough. So for example, this one here has like a flipper. So when it comes down, this actually bends down when it goes back the other direction. I can actually show that to you real quick. So you'll notice when it comes down here, that flips down. Cup needs to move out of the way. So, how do I do that? That's a super easy one. Kind of a piece of cardboard, por favor. Take a piece of cardboard, cut it. Okay, and then you're going to bend, and you can use the ruler for this, but this is kind of a smaller bend. One side up. Now, the tough part about this is the ball will kind of want to naturally fall off the edge because there's no edge on this like there's on the trough. So when you tape this one on, it's best to leave it, it's best to do it on an edge. And you can kind of curve it inward a little bit. And then the important part is just to tape the top, but don't tape the bottom. Not bad. Might be a little far away from my trough. I'm going to move it a little bit. another really important tip. Actually, I'll give that to you in just 1 second. I'm going to finish this. Yeah, there we go. Cool.
Yeah.
So kind of flippers a little bit.
It's nice, and it's straightforward to build.
Now, another super important tip. Don't go too fast with the marble. So the marble will tend to, you'll pick up speed as you go along through your system.
Right.
The faster it goes, the harder it is to control, and the marble will tend to jump out of your track. So you'll notice, this is the first piece of this run. This is very, what we call shallow. It's not very steep. So you really don't want to go like,
Right.
wow, right down the hill, because you'll lose control, way too much energy. It's best to take your time, keep it a little bit more flat, and let the marble kind of take its time going down through the system. Too fast.
Yeah. Also, then the run's over super quick.
Sure.
It's like you can have a marble run that just does this.
Wow.
That's
So that's super helpful, that too. Some more tricks, some more tips. If you're rounding a corner, you might want a backsplash.
because there is a tendency a lot for the marbles to just, or even if you're not rounding a corner, something to stop it,
Yep, from hurtling off the edge.
because it will just naturally want to keep going the direction it's going.
Yep. So a backsplash can be really helpful, especially if you're going around a corner.
Yeah.
You can, I have found, make these into corners by cutting them. That's something you can experiment, and then folding them in on each other. Do you
Want
mind
to try? Yeah.
if I cut one?
Cut that one.
Ooh, this is some fancy folding you got going on here.
Okay.
Cutting one of them, sorry.
That's fine.
Because it's going to make this easier. So if this is your trough, you can try cutting it up.
You did 3 cuts?
I did 3, but that's for you to experiment with. Here, I'll come up and show you. So if you take a trough, whoop, you cut it up 3 times so that you cut up 2 edges to the one edge, leave one intact. You can then fold it over on itself and make a really cool
Just tape it.
turn. Tape that right up.
That is really cool. I like that a lot.
Isn't that pretty?
Then you tape it into the corner.
Yep.
That's great.
Although, you need to.
So I suppose you could do more than 3 cuts
Yep.
if you wanted to.
I think
It's worth. You experiment. You try different things out.
all experimenting.
Your only limit is your imagination and how much cardboard you have.
And tape. Cardboard and tape. So we're going to do this for about another probably 10 minutes or so. So if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to ask.
I've been folding this over here for a bit, and I gotta say, it is much easier to fold the cardboard with the ruler.
Yep.
You can try doing it by hand, but it's messy, and you'll get these weird crinkly folds that aren't really there. You just hold the ruler down with one hand and fold the cardboard against it. It turns out much better, and it's easier to do. Takes a little practice maybe, but it's really worth it.
All of this takes practice. No one was a born marble runner, unfortunately.
Not even Rube Goldberg?
You guys,
Did he actually build any of them? I think he mostly just drew his.
that's a good question. I don't know. Does everyone know who Rube Goldberg is? Aaron, why don't you explain who Rube Goldberg is?
Oh, this was, I don't know when he did most of his work. Well, what he's known for is drawing pictures of these crazy contraptions. Sometimes it would involve marbles, but not necessarily. But they would be doing the most mundane things like cooking toast, okay? But instead of pushing down the lever to cook the toast, it would start over here where someone's maybe in bed and they release this weight, okay? So they move this thing and a weight comes down and it pulls this rope over here, which lights a candle or match, then the candle gets lit, and then that will melt some ice, and then the drippings come down, and all these other things. Maybe it makes a sound that scares a chicken, which lays an egg, and the egg rolls down this, goes through all these different things, and eventually push the lever, and then makes the toast.
Yay!
So the idea was what's the most ridiculous way that you could get these simple things done, and
using lots and lots of steps.
Lots and lots of steps. And I think, I'm not sure, I'm gonna have to look it up later myself, but I think he primarily drew pictures. It was like, cartoon for the newspaper possibly, or a magazine. But it's quite possible that he also built some things. I'll have to look into that. Since then, of course, many people have built such things. There was, for a long time, or many places do great marble contraptions, which is similar, but it's like in a marble run where they have just lots of marbles going through it. They don't deal with any chicken eggs or melting ice. Nice. All right.
Coming along. So I kind of
Goes right around that corner.
I defeated my
Well, we
flipper
could,
a little bit.
We
But
can
that's
cut that. So it's bumping against there.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just gonna fold that part down a little bit to allow the flipper to move.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. And you could even start with your flipper. I don't
A
know.
little higher.
I'm gonna untape it a little bit here. Or just
See,
cut the tape.
this is the adjusting that we were talking about. If you want to keep experimenting to make it cooler and cooler.
Well, this, I'm wondering if we can get it so that it will start up like this, and then when the marble bumps into it, it'll go down. I want it to stay up.
So I have an answer from Steve. Steve says, after getting a degree in engineering from Berkeley, Rube Goldberg used his drawing skills to become famous for drawing so-called Rube Goldberg machines. So it doesn't sound like he made any necessarily.
Still, he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah. And although some of them had live animals.
Yes.
And that we would not want to put.
No.
Don't
put a marble run on your dog.
If you want to
Please.
check out OK Go, the band, they did a really cool giant one for their song.
I don't remember the name of the song.
Maybe All Good Things or something. I don't remember, but check it
That
out.
sounds right.
All OK Go videos are very
OK
cool.
Go does some excellent, just fascinating to watch videos.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely an engineering challenge to try, test it, see if it works, try it again, try some new things. Before we go, a couple other cool things you can do. Cups. Paper cups will make things easier. You can cut them this way to make like a
Probably easier
catch.
than cutting. Oh yeah, so you got a catch there. Or, I mean, here you also have something where the marble could go into and then guide down. So if you cut, you have a tall cup and you cut. It's hard to cut straight into the bottom of these. So I think
Poking holes with pens is a little bit
Poking holes with
easier and
pens.
safer. Just make sure if you're poking a hole, you're doing it. The best way to poke a hole is to put something underneath it and poke
Right.
down. So
Say
if you get a piece
a-
of cardboard, you can poke down rather than poking into your hand.
yeah, don't never poke,
Never ends well.
never cut or poke with your hand or your leg or anything underneath.
Yeah.
There, you've got a tube.
Oh, yeah, that's another one I want to talk about. So I used in mine
Right.
a magazine at one point. It's
Over there.
You can easily just tear out a sheet, wrap that up, make a cool tube.
Ta-da.
The only thing that you have to be careful with this is just making sure that you don't like crush the tube when you tape it on. It's the only. So when I tape it on, just keep the tape loose. Oh yeah, so that's a good one. Another one is I used a magazine to secure things, so you could even like. We talked about that backsplash earlier. Magazines are so fun to rip, truly. You could just fold a piece and use it as your backsplash if you want to hold something up. You know, something like that.
I haven't. This just occurred to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how this works. But if you take a flat, large piece and cut into the middle, okay, notice how I pushed against the table there.
Yeah, it's a good trick.
And just cut a wedge out. Doesn't need to be a big wedge. If you pull these two edges together, it makes a trough. You can cut a hole in the bottom of it, and with that taped, you can have.
I wonder if you
marbles,
could.
but
That would be
This is untested.
that would be cool.
I haven't tried it. We'll try it right now, but at least it'll move around. I don't know about.
Pretty cool. There's also a lot of marble run videos you can check out online for cool ideas and stuff like that. In our last 5 minutes, anyone have any other questions for us?
I can't. I'm having a hard time. I'm gonna get closer where I can read the questions.
Make sure you stick your eye right into the camera.
Let's see.
Oh, they want me to show the folding thing again?
Yeah, Tristan knows that people started using the inspiring drawings to make real life versions of them.
Look at you, Aaron. All right, real quick, I'm just going to come up there and I'm going to show how to do the fold again one more time.
So just in case you missed the fold and how to do that. So again, if you're trying to make a trough, this is the basic shape that makes the whole thing work really well. You're going to start with a triangle that you've cut out of some kind. Take a ruler. The idea here is that you want a marble to kind of go down the middle of this, and you want two sides. So I'm going to take my ruler, I'm going to use it as a straight edge, put down on my cardboard, mark a line, okay? I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So now I have two sides and my middle. I'm actually going to go ahead and mark one more line because this is a little bit thicker than I needed. I'm going to go ahead and cut this last piece off. Okay, and now to make this fold, rather than just using my hands to fold it, I'm going to take my ruler, put it down on top of my line with my thumbs, and I'm going to pull up. That Annie's box is a little bit tougher. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. So by using the ruler, it's much easier to get a straight edge on my trough. And this is what I tape to my design. Alright guys, well, I think that is probably about good for us today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed learning a little bit about marble runs. And again, this is supposed to be just a little informational video, show you some cool tips or tricks. I'm going to show you this one more time. Again, we talked about making troughs
making backsplashes so that the marble doesn't roll off if you go around an edge. You can use magazines for tubes. This is actually a bottle that we cut. If you need to cut a bottle, you should ask your parents. Make sure they help you do that.
Definitely.
And then I showed you how to make little flippers to go through, how to make a flap to ride down. So, and then on this one, I also showed you how to make a curve, which I didn't add to my design here, but how to make a curve design.
When cutting bottles and plastic cups, squash them flat, start your cut, and then cut, rather than trying to cut the unsquashed one.
Good trick. Yay! All right, guys, thank you very much. So I think Aaron's going to be going live tomorrow with another virtual Lego social.
Absolutely.
I think that's going to be at 2, but we'll have details about that up on the website and other things up and coming. Keep coming back. Again, we're just going to try and keep you guys busy, hoping to find some fun things to do. Maybe something like this will keep you guys busy for a little while. Yeah. I know I had a blast with it. When I get into a project and I get focused for a while, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, and just remember, this is an engineering challenge, so it's not necessarily going to work the first time. In fact, it's probably
won't.
Mine definitely did not work the first time I was putting it together. It took a lot of adjustment, trying things out, retaping things, moving things around. We got a little bit of time, so enjoy the process.
Yeah. And I'm really excited. I'd like to see some of what you built.
Oh, yes.
So if you could take a picture and...
we're actually going to put a social part on the website, so if you go to, with your parents' help, go to the website, you'll be able to go to the bottom of our virtual learning page and submit a picture or a video of what you've done.
That'd be great.
And then we'll be putting...
video for marble ones would be fantastic.
Yeah, and then we'll be putting together a gallery of your guys' work, so that'll be a good way to stay in touch with each other as well. All right?
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys.